All right, guys, I'm back. All right, I'm going to watch the my count on people logging on, Leah. If you're there, then I can invite you to the video. Oh, there you go. See, I'm not even paying attention. Hi, Melissa. Oh, I love you. You're so loyal to me. I love you. Okay. Hi. Hi, how are you, Sarah? Oh, you're so beautiful. Look at you. I haven't actually talked to you in forever. I only see you on Facebook. Is she attacking my hat? Come on. You've grown up to be such a beautiful young lady. And I'm so happy that I can tell you live. Tell your mom I said hi. I miss her so much. Hey, Leah. Okay, hold on. Let me get her off of my shirt because I'm totally wearing an 80s shirt that has little holes in it. And her little toenail got stuck. Like, why am I wearing 80s shirts, right? Because 80s style is awesome. That's why. Come on. Step up. Come on, sweet. All right. There you go. That's what she, that's what she wanted. I guess she was so attracted to my 80s shirt. Okay. Let's see. All right, Leah, I'm going to press invite right now. All right, I just sent you the invite. And you maybe should be getting like a pop-up. All right. I am going back to Chicago in about 2 weeks. I go back about maybe like every couple of months now. So I would love to see you guys sometime. Tell your mom I would love to see you guys. And I love your hair color, by the way. Is that like a permanent hair color or is that like an app? Because whatever it is, it's really looking beautiful. I think I might get a little lag on my messages too, guys. So I apologize. Let's see. Let me see. So again, guys, we're waiting for the guest today, Leah. She's a really good friend of mine that I made in this bird world. And she had a question about behaviors for the bird that she just received from me. And I was going to help her with that. And it was something that I thought everyone would like to listen to. And we're just waiting for that for her to pop up here. Let's see. Step up. You like my 80s shirt? So actually, one of Leah's questions is, what should she do if the bird gets hard-headed about not wanting to step off? So actually, I have this great situation right here where this little baby girl does not want to step off of my 80s shirt. For whatever reason, she doesn't. Maybe she likes it too much. Okay, wait, hold on. You're not seeing the invite? Step up. Oh, no. There you are. My fault for wearing this shirt today, sweetheart. Okay, Leah, let's try this. I'm going to, let's see. So Leah, I know your question already. I'm gonna take 5 minutes and answer the question on here. And then I'm gonna call you right after. So, and then maybe we can picture or figure out the picture-in-picture afterwards. I'm wondering if you're not on your phone, if you'd be able to get on your phone versus the computer. Let's see. I know I had this problem the last time my husband was trying to do like a dual live with someone else, and there was something like about an update or something like that. Okay, great. I got your message. Okay, so I'm doing this live by myself. I apologize, guys. I don't do lives a lot, so please forgive all of my mistakes and errors. So Leah is a great friend of mine. She just purchased a Blue Crown Conure from me not too long ago, and the Blue Crown is a rehome. And a lot of times with rehomes, whenever I rehome them to new families, I can give you a great idea of the personality of the bird. I can tell you if they're aggressive, if there's anything, what's wrong, sweetheart? If there's anything, maybe like an indication of trauma or anything like that, or I can tell you the bird is really sweet. This bird was actually a rehome. It was not a rescue. There you go, sweetheart. It was not a rescue, and he was very well taken care of. But Leah asked me a question, and you know, she's a very smart woman. She's a teacher, and so she knows that most animals and humans always test boundaries, especially when they go to a new home. And which is completely right, 200% right. Everything in this world, I love that it's based on boundaries, whether they're alive or not. Think of Newton's law of motion. I mean, the whole law of motion is based on boundaries. That you'll stop the moving when you hit a boundary, or you hit the boundary of not having energy anymore. Humans always test their boundaries of what freedom they have, what they can do. Animals have those same instincts. They always test their boundaries no matter what. It's like we do it without even thinking. Sometimes we do it at an extreme level. Sometimes we do it at a basic level. And animals do it just like children. They do it at a basic level. Remember, parrots have a cognitive ability of a 3-year-old, and that's just with the research that they've done on parrots. So, you know, human research is so limited sometimes. We're so blind to really what full potential is. So anyway, basic research has shown that parrots have the cognitive ability of a 3-year-old human. So in my head, that already tells me that that's just research, that there are parrots who have a cognitive ability of an older human, which is just wild. I love that. Anyway, I can talk about that forever. So now we're talking about boundaries. Leah just got her new Blue Crown. He's amazing. He is amazing, but just like any other animal, just like any other bird, she's kissing me. I love it. They test their boundaries. So what you need to do, my first recommendation, I don't care how sweet the baby is when you get them, you put your boundary there as soon as you get them. It's very normal for when a family gets their baby in to be so excited. Ooh, a new pet, a new bird, a new dog, a new cat. Let's love it forever. Let's love it for the next 2 weeks. Let's just spoil him to, you know, to the rainbow. That is actually a mistake. As much as we love to spoil our pets and want to do everything sweet and cute with them, that first almost week, I want to say, but really the first 48 hours, the bird is testing his boundaries. No. See, and that's a good example right there. The kisses are sweet, but she was too close to my lips, and so I needed to put that boundary. And look, it's almost like she's already saying sorry. But you really, in the first 48 to 72 hours, animals test their boundaries. Remember that animals, they cannot speak the English language, so everything is through almost like a sign language, a body language. They don't know why they're with a new family. They don't know who you are. They don't know if you're dangerous. You could be the most loving person in the world and have a cage ready and have toys ready and have a whole new bird room ready for them, but they don't know that. And that's what a lot of people fail to remember, and it's not a bad thing. But it's a good, this is just a refresher so you can keep that in your mind. Just think of a human. If a spaceship were to come down tomorrow and you were to wake up drinking your coffee and a big nasty alien is staring at you, you don't know if he's nice. He could be the nicest alien in the world and is offering you billions of dollars. But because you guys can't communicate, you've never met him before, you've never seen anything like that before, you have no idea that he's the sweetest alien offering you $1 billion. So now you guys are going to have to communicate through body language. He's going to have to show you somehow that you're safe. He's going to have to show you somehow that you're welcome on his spaceship, but you're not allowed to break his controls. He's going to have to show you somehow. And I hope that makes sense to everyone. So a lot of the boundaries they get set with body language, with a sign language, and the boundaries need to be set the first 48 hours. I'm going to go back to my weird alien scenario. If you go on the alien spaceship right away and he doesn't set those boundaries, what are you probably going to do? You're probably going to start grabbing everything shiny. You're going to start grabbing his body. You're probably going to start grabbing his babies, if he has babies and you think they're kittens or something, because you don't know what you can do. So you're testing your boundaries. Testing boundaries is not necessarily malicious. Testing boundaries is a human experience so that you can realize what you can do that's safe and not safe a lot of times. So this is what animals do. Do not think that testing boundaries is malicious, because it's not. And that's another thing that we need to keep in mind. If a bird is testing their boundary, pinching you, a lot of times the inexperienced bird owner thinks, oh, my bird is so mean. No. The bird is not necessarily mean. The bird doesn't know you. The bird doesn't know its surroundings. It's just trying to figure out what's right and what's wrong at its own primal instinct, just the way children do as they're growing. So I hope this makes sense. No. Okay, so another question Leah has is about nipping. Okay, so the first question was about boundaries. Leah, the bird is on her shoulder and the bird is on the chair, and the bird does not want to step up on her, whether because for whatever reason he doesn't want to step up sometimes. He is the sweetest bird, but he can be hard-headed, which a lot of animals can be hard-headed. The first thing that you need to do, now this is just a basic training session, the first thing that you need to do to set your boundary is startle. This is not necessarily an abuse. This is not hurting the bird. So for instance, and I'm going to do it to this girl because she's my example today, which she's not necessarily doing anything wrong. But a basic startling is a negative consequence because they don't know what the startling is. Again, you don't have to scare them. You don't have to hit them. You don't have to do anything aggressive. I'm going to show you. I don't like that she's going for my hat. I want her to go towards my hat so I can show you. I don't want to startle her for nothing, but if I have to, I will. So I'm going to put my finger up and entice her to bite it. I know that's wrong, but this is just for video purposes. And I'm going to wait for her to do something negative. And then I startle her. Did you see my shoulder go down? Look at her eyes. She's startled. She doesn't know why that happened. That's a negative consequence. Now let's see if she nibbles on my finger again. Do you see? Look, she turned away. She did it perfectly. She just learned that if she nibbles on my finger, she gets a negative consequence. So the startling can be very subtle. It just has to startle. So Leah showed me a video of the blue crown on the back of a chair. and the blue crown does not want to step up. So what does she do? I would grab the side of the chair and just shake it really quick. It doesn't have to be aggressive. It doesn't have to be mean. It just startling, like make him uneasy. And you have to do it almost immediately as the behavior happens. See, I don't like that. You see how she's looking? She's startled. Now, she didn't hurt me, guys, but I always have a rule that the birds should not be by the face, because one day they could be hormonal and really give you a good one. So you see how she's startled? She's probably going to think next time that she does it. So the action needs to be immediately once the bird does the negative behavior. Okay, so the next one is the bird being on the back. Now this is a big one for me. I'm going to tell you what I really think about this. She should not be on my shoulder. She's on my shoulder for video purposes, because if I put her down here on my arm, then I'm constantly going to have to be like this, or she's going to be on my lap and you're not going to see her. Most birds on my private time are not allowed on my shoulder. One, because birds, the higher they get, the more alpha they get, and they will get more hard-headed. And they will not want to come down. You never want to put a bird in a position where they're alpha. If they get the alpha, if they let the alpha get to their head, they will become a little bit more aggressive, because it's in their natural instinct. It's not a malicious thing. It's their natural animal instinct. So I do not let birds on my shoulder. Leah, when your baby was here, he always tried to go to my shoulder. He was not allowed. I would have him here on my forearm or on my hand, and I would cut him off. So this is my favorite move. When they're on my forearm and they try to go up, nope, you're done. And I go like this, and then they go back. And that's their negative consequence. If you want to do a better negative consequence, is when he wants to go up. You can always like drop your arm, startle him, and then he'll know that going up is a negative consequence. But that is my my rule, guys. And remember, I just want to remind everyone, this is just with my experience. This is what I do. Everyone has their own techniques. I'm not saying I'm 100% right. I love reminding everyone of that. This is not a fight of, oh, this is not a fight with anyone trying to tell anyone I'm right. Everyone has their own techniques. If you'd like to try mine, you're more than welcome to. If you think I'm full of it and you want to try someone else's, you're more than welcome to. This is just with my experience. So birds are not allowed up, because most of the time they do get alpha, and you don't want that to happen. Plus, it's too close to my face. If I'm wearing glasses, I wear glasses, I wear earrings, I wear accessories. I've had so many customers tell me that they've lost diamonds. Yeah. I've had so many customers tell me that they lost diamonds, that necklaces were ripped off, because we're just enticing the bird to bite on them. And it's just too much. And again, one day they can be hormonal. You see how she's really cute on my cheek? But if it's springtime and she's hormonal, and she's not even in control of her own hormones, she can rip one in my cheek. She really can. And then I have stitches, and boom, it's like the worst day of my life. So I hope this makes sense. But if you do let him go on the shoulders, you're going to need someone else's help. He needs to come off, and it's not his choice. So either you're going to have to do a swift movement back to either scare him or sway him off. And sometimes they do flutter to the ground, guys, but that's not mean. They have wings, they can flutter. Now, if his wings were completely chopped off to where he's plopping on the floor, breaking bones, then that's cruel. That's just cruel. But if it's a startling to where he jumps off and he flutters to the floor, that is not mean. That is the negative consequence. And then the next time that you put your hand up, he learns to step up. He learns that he needs to step up, and those actions need to keep on happening until he learns he cannot be in control, that he does not have a choice to say no when you want him to step up. I hope all of this is making sense. Let me see. And then Leah is saying, She also does, I keep on forget, congratulations, she's a little girl. I keep on saying him, don't I? I think I do, but no, she's a little girl, and I think that's awesome. First little girl in your home, congratulations. By the way, guys, you know, a lot of people do like opposite sex birds, but I'm actually different. I actually love girl parrots. There is something about girl parrots. I'm so pro girl myself. Don't get me wrong. I have boys. I love my boys too, but I love my daughters. I feel like girls just are full of personality. They're full of spunk. They're full of attitude sometimes. And yeah, sometimes people say it reminds them of me, but, are you kissy kiss? She seriously blew me a kiss, guys. But I think you'll love having a girl parrot. And for some reason, now anyone can prove me wrong, every girl parrot I've had has talked way more than the boys. And it's so funny because a lot of men say, of course they do. That's just like humans. But every girl parrot I've had have talked way more than the boys. And I have this belief that the girls do talk more than the boys in parrot world. Okay, so the next one is Leah is saying she also does like to go back in the cage, and she can be aggressive around the cage. Sorry guys, I see someone showing me lots of love and I appreciate it. I love you too. I have all those little heads popping up with the thumbs. Okay, so she likes to go back in the cage and she can be aggressive around the cage. So there's one thing I also wanted to mention too. Now, the blue crown is aggressive right now in the cage. There's one thing I want you to keep in mind too, Leah, and this could totally not be the situation, but I'm going to say it in case it is. Sometimes we get really excited when the bird does get to our home that we actually have them out a lot and we're like constantly on them for the first week. We also need to remember that birds do get tired. They do need their rest, and your blue crown is actually not that old. She's very young. So if she's been getting so much attention and so much stimulation, she's just like a human child. She needs her rest. So the one thing I'm going to tell you, and then you're more than welcome to tell me you already do it, is make sure she gets a good 3-4 hours of just throughout the day, just some time to be in her cage, explore it. Remember, it's all new to her. Eat her food, get used to her toys. She needs time to relax. When birds get overly stimulated and there's too much sensory, they do get grouchy. So just remember that. It's just like a human. And make sure that she gets at least her 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night. Because again, they do need their rest, and that's why sometimes I hesitate making these videos at night, because even when I pull them out at night and I wake them up from their sleep, they get super grouchy, and then I'm making a video with like grouchy vampire bird, which that's not their real personality. I just woke them up at night. So just keep that in mind. And but now, so let's just say she's all rested. She's used to you guys. She's used to her cage. She's used to her environment now, but she's still cage aggressive. Now, I'm going to tell you just with my experience with her, she's not normally cage aggressive. So that's what I'm going to answer you firmly right now. She actually runs up to the door because she wants human interaction. So my best bet with you, Leah, I'm really guessing, I'm making a good guess here, that she's overly stimulated and she just needs to rest a little more. Give her a little bit more downtime so she can get used to everything. Again, she's a piggy. She loves to eat. She loves to drink. Make sure she's having a lot of those seed and fresh fruits and vegetables and water. Right now, it's like super sensory for her. She just needs to really have a moment to calm down, because she does come to the door for human attention. So again, that's my best estimated guess, that she's just overly tired, and she just you need to give her some time to just really relax. And that's not a bad thing. All of us do it. All of us do it. Now, again, so let's just go back to the cage aggressive. My next guess too is, I think it was you, or maybe it was another customer. Did you buy a cage that might have been too big for her? So that is a number two big thing about having cage aggression in the big cages. Usually when we buy an overly big, and I'm not saying it has to be small, but when we buy a cage that's like way too much room for the bird, there is a natural instinct to get cage aggressive. Again, why are they getting cage aggressive? Because now they have a whole kingdom and forest, and their natural instinct is to let the alpha go up to their head. So the cage aggression is normal when they have an overly big cage. You're welcome to keep the overly big cage because that's awesome for her to have. But then we also then have to set another time to talk about how you can try to redirect that alpha going to her head and her getting that cage aggression because of the overly big cage. And okay, so Leah's saying, yeah, she does come to the door. Perfect, because that is who she is. Never one time did she not ever go to the door for me when I had opened it. She's always willing to step out, always wanting to come out. And that's just me knowing her. So I'm able to tell Leah these things because I actually took care of this bird. I got to know her. I got to know her behaviors. Now, if anyone else ever wants advice, I'm more than happy to try to give you advice with birds I've never met before. But just so you know, I am giving Leah this specific advice because I know her bird. I sold her a bird. See, just like that. See, do you see how she's curious now? I don't want her, she's kissing me, guys. It's the sweetest thing, but I don't want her beak on my chin because one day it might not be a kiss. It could actually be a slice of my chin. So I'm teaching her now that that's my boundary. So that's another advice that I'm going to give you. There could be really cute things that your bird does that you think, oh, it's a baby, it's doing it sweet. Well, you have to really think to the future. Is there a potential for it not to be sweet? For instance, I don't like birds nibbling on my nail polish. I know my nail polish is attractive to them and they want to bite it. But later on, it could be them really trying to take off my nail. So there's certain bad habits that I try to nip right away so that it doesn't become a worse habit as they get older. Because just like humans, nip it while they're kids so that when they're adults, it doesn't get nastier. Let me see. Leah, I think you had one more question. Let me see. So I'm trying to get off my hair, sweet. I'm trying to see what your next question is. Oh, I also want to show you this. So do you see how I'm grabbing her foot, her talon? That is something that I always do almost with every single bird unless the bird's a vampire and will rip my hand off. So this is a very good thing to get your birds used to it. Leah, I did it with your little girl and she's used to it. It lets the bird know you're mine right here. I really don't want you anywhere else. And if they ever, I have had birds who try to go down and like sort of nip at my finger because they're not used to this. I train my babies with this all the time. I want every I let every customer know that I've trained the babies for this so that they don't have any problems doing it. But sometimes when the bird's not used to it, they try to like go down and like maybe like put their beak on the thumb. And if they do that, then I startle them just like that, just the way I did her now. But putting your thumb on the talon lets them know I don't want you anywhere else right now. And it's a really good habit to create with your bird. Okay, so Leah, I think you had one more question. Let's see. Okay, so that one is the one I wanted to talk to you about, Leah. You said your baby's nipping, your baby's nipping at your baby. Your blue crown is nipping at your baby. I do not like that at all. I did not know that. That needs to stop right away. So the negative consequence needs to happen. As soon as your blue crown goes to your baby, I wouldn't even allow her to get close right now. I know in the end they could be best friends, but right now set that firm boundary. I promise you guys, I promise you, I have 6 kids. And animals do know when mama bear comes out. They really do. Even my dogs outside, when they try to run towards my baby and I use my mama bear voice, my dogs cower down and they know to leave my baby alone. Birds, believe it or not, do the same thing. If they even look at my 1-year-old, my mama voice bear comes out and those birds cower away. There is something about this natural world that even humans know who mama animals are, and the animals know who mama humans are. So Leah, I need you to set that boundary. I just saw your comment, just so people know she's super sweet. And probably most of the time, I know, right? I'm making her sound like a vampire. But she's not a vampire, guys. We're just talking about these negative behaviors, which, you know, everyone has. I have negative behaviors too. So that's what we're concentrating on. That's what our focus is on right now. But set your boundary with your baby. As soon as, like, I would even say, I don't know how she nips her. I don't know if you're like putting her on the hand or anything like that. But right now, as your blue crown gets closer, use mama bear voice on her. And I would just, honestly, I would go like this and put your hand like if you're blocking the way to your baby, and use a word, and you know this already with your students, use one word and one tone of voice every time she gets close to your baby, whether it be no or stop, but do the same movement all the time, because that's where the sign language is going to come in. Do the same movement all the time, and she'll eventually learn that's the boundary. Now, I don't think she's ever going to get, I know your baby, or I know the blue crown, I don't think she'll ever get aggressive with your baby at all, but you want to at least set that boundary so that she doesn't ever even in a hormonal day, she doesn't ever even think of having attitude with the wrong person. And you can actually do that with everyone. It doesn't have to be just your baby. It could be your sons. It can be everyone. So I hope that helps. Let me see if you have any more questions. And Dennis is saying, if they get to be more aggressive or try to take control over you, put them on the ground or the floor, because they need you to bring them up and they become more submissive. So that's a great comment. So let me sort of rephrase that. Dennis made a great comment. Also, another thing is, if they're ever, and this will happen, you know, our kids do it too. If the bird ever gets a little bit more like hormonal, or like testing the boundaries, that, let's just say, like, she has an attitude and she's like, dude, I don't like your finger on my talon, and she's really trying to come at me, like, stop, stop, stop. I can actually put her on the floor. So then I'll just go down and we'll put her on the floor. And I've actually showed this in another one of my videos. As soon as you put the bird on the floor, they get extremely submissive. Putting the bird on the floor is a very vulnerable position for them. They are birds. Their natural instinct is to fly and be up high. That's why they always get alpha when they're up high. Putting the bird on the floor is a very submissive position to put them in. It is almost a negative consequence, because they get worried that they're on the floor and they're not in their natural instinct to be up high. So if you put the bird on the floor too, it is also a negative consequence. And then when you have them step up, 99% of birds, even the most aggressive ones, believe it or not, will step up when on the floor, because they're vulnerable. And that is a great way to sort of press the reset button. If your bird is ever having an attitude, press the reset button, put them on the floor, and have them step up again, and then they will be submissive. So I hope that helps. And then Leah, you're asking, how about the diet? Can that affect behavior? For sure. Diet can affect behavior. Just think of humans. Like, I'm huge on diet, like, no joke. Just think of humans. I compare to them humans a lot because just all living things are very similar if you really connect it. If we stuff our bodies with like junk and candy and fat and like everything unhealthy, what's going to happen? Like, remember that video where they're like eating McDonald's, that guy was like eating McDonald's for like a whole month, and then like he got depressed and crazy. So I mean, I don't think he got crazy, but I think everyone remembers that video, right? But that's what happens when we fill our body with junk. Our body reacts. We get depressed, we get hormonal, we get aggressive, we get angry. And the same thing happens with birds. Yes, 100%. I've seen birds who start ruining their feathers and start bad habits like picking their feathers and everything just because of the diet. Balanced diet is perfect. Leah, I already know your baby for a fact, eats fruits and vegetables and different. Use a lot of fresh. Now everyone's like, oh, seeds, oh, pellets. Pellets is one thing, guys. Remember, I'm just reminding you, everything I say is just with my experience. It's just with what I've learned. I'm never saying I'm 100% right. Please don't think that this is like a hate video where I'm saying everyone else is wrong. No, you're more than welcome to follow my advice. You're more than welcome to follow someone else's advice. I'm never saying that I'm right. But pellet is another thing. A lot of veterinarians tell people pellets are great because they have like, excuse me, 100% vitamin, or all the vitamins stuffed in the pellets. So you can ensure that your bird gets all the vitamins. Now, this is what I'm going to tell you when it comes to pellets. Who makes pellets? Are they grown? What plant do pellets come out of? They're not, because they're man-made. And what's the rule with everything food in regard to being man-made is that it's not good for you. Natural is good for you. Sprouts are good for the birds. Fruit and vegetables is good for the birds. Do you see the birds out in the wild going and opening a pack of pellets and being like, what's up, dude, and eating them? No, they don't. Birds forage on everything natural out in the wild. Grass, plants, flowers, fruit. A bird's color spectrum is actually far beyond ours, and not a lot of people know this. Their color spectrum is actually far better than ours. They see like 100 more colors than we do on the spectrum because they are built to look for fruits and vegetables that are ripe and ready to eat, and so that they can stay away from rotten fruits and vegetables. So actually, that not a lot of people know this, but this is why toys are made very colorful, because their color spectrum is very large and it entices them to play with the toy and keep stimulated. So that was a cool thing that my customers didn't know, and they would always be like, wow, whenever I tell them. So I always opt for lots of natural. The seed, the bird seed in the stores, they are baked. And there is a process of eliminating a lot of the naturalness of the seed, and that is only because they're trying to preserve. It's a preservative to try to get the shelf life to last longer. Not a lot of people know that if you have natural seed in the bags, they'll spoil faster. They really do spoil. And then sometimes they have little bugs in them, which the little bugs are healthy in the wild. Obviously, birds eat the little bugs, but not a lot of people know that there is a process to bagging the seed to preserve the shelf life. And then what happens is that it takes a lot of the natural vitamins out. So even the seed is processed in its own way. So you can do seed, you can do pellet, but I always say do fresh fruits and vegetables. Leah, you're a lot like me. I love you so much. You're probably, look up sprouting. Sprouting is the most awesome thing ever, and it's like the most healthiest thing for the birds. You can sprout beans, you can sprout peas, you can sprout seed. Sprouting is awesome. I would recommend do a lot of the sprouting for your bird. The healthier you get your bird, the less junk you put in his body, the less hormones, the less bad attitude, the less depression, the less negative behaviors you're gonna get. I talk forever, guys. I talk a lot. Hi, Alex. Thank you for joining. I talk a lot. So I hope I didn't just throw like a ton of information at you that you're not understanding. But I also hope that helps. So let me see if there's any more questions. Yeah, so Dennis is also saying pellet is good, but should not be their main food. And I completely agree. Yes, so again, he made a good point. I'm not saying stay away from pellets, and I'm not saying stay away from seeds. But I would not make it their only food. I would not just rely on the pellet or the seed to give them all of their nutrients. Again, the pellet I told you is man-made. That is why I don't believe in them. I tried to raise some birds, some baby birds. So I always like to try different things to see what makes my baby birds feathering the most beautiful as they wean. When I tried pellet, that was the one time that my birds really came out drab. I did not like it. I did not like using pellets. A lot of bird stores, a lot of people do use pellet because they say that it's cost efficient. It's actually cheaper because that's the only thing the bird can eat. See, now there's the keywords there, guys. That's the only thing the bird can eat. And so they save money knowing that all they have to do is replace the pellet when it's all powder. So that should be a red flag too, that using just pellet is not really the best thing. It's not done for the right reasons. So I would not use pellet alone. I would not use seed alone. I would always incorporate the fresh fruits and vegetables. When I incorporated the fresh fruits and vegetables, the spirulina, the chamomile, the different herbs, that is when my weaned babies would come out looking the best. So yes, you said that's awesome. You grow millet from seed. Yes, I actually did. Like back when I was in Chicago, I used to grow a little bit of millet, and I told Dennis what I want is I actually want a raised garden bed so that we can grow our own millet, and then I can give it to all of the birds. Like freshly, the coolest thing is when the millet grows, it actually comes out green. So the baking process, the processing of it to put in bags at the stores actually takes out a lot of the nutrients that makes it brown. But it's really cool to see the fresh millet because it's actually like green and very pretty colors. So Leah, that's something that you can do. I know you're in Brooklyn. I don't know if you have like a windowsill, but you can do one of those like garden little beds on your windowsill, and you can actually just grow millet there. It grows really fast. It's really cool. So let me see. Do you have any more questions at all? Let me see. I think I missed a few questions here. No, and I think that's it. And so, all right, that was it. Leah had her question about the behavior problems. Again, guys, if you guys have any questions, you're welcome to email me. You're welcome to text me or call me. Our phone number is always on our page, our Facebook page, our website, and our YouTube. So you're welcome to get a hold of me anytime. If anyone else would like me to do a video, you're more than welcome to request it. And Leah, thank you for being such an awesome person. It sucks that we didn't get you on video today. I would love to have seen you on video, but maybe we can do one next time. And I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you for watching, and keep it birdie, guys. Take care.